the rate of violence against women has gone up because actually the situation has completely mushroomed. Whenever I talk to people about this,
who voted for these policies? What demographic overwhelmingly voted for these policies? Which demographic is overwhelmingly paying the price for these policies? Which demographic overwhelmingly doesn't feel safe now going out at night, going out on public transportation, being by themselves? Which ones are complaining overwhelmingly about being catcalled, being the victims of misogyny, the victims of SA and other types of assault where men don't care about them. They look at them like they're pieces of meat. They walk around dressed provocatively. These men are coming from conservative cultures where women are wearing, like she said, hijabs are completely covered up. And you go into a Western world and you see these blonde white women that you've been seeing on TV, and they're wearing skimpy outfits and they're getting drunk at night and they're acting like, oh my God, something you've never seen in your country. And so you treat these infidels like dog. It's no surprise that this stuff is happening. You take two incompatible cultures, you invite a group of people in your country in mass amounts of numbers with no plan to integrate them. Your policies are complete shit. You don't even check these people background-wise where they're coming from. They throw their passports and other forms of identification off the boat in the water right before they make landfall, and then you just accept them as asylums. And now countries are actually weaponizing, like Belarus was flying in Syrians, Afghanis, and whatever else. People don't know this, but there's now weaponized migration happening in Europe, where infighting is going on amongst European nations with different value systems. For example, say Belarus, obviously as a dictator, the EU doesn't like that. They try to punish. So the dude was flying in a ton of migrants and just shipping them across the border in, I believe, Poland and Lithuania. We'll cover that a little later. But again, and then saying that these people will not have a way back. So they're pushing them to the front lines, to the borders, and then taking away their identification. Of course, the migrants want to come. It's better countries than where they're from, but it's weaponizing it on purpose. And these people are getting their quote asylum, oftentimes making more money, getting paid more sustenance and relief than the locals are. That's the part that hurts the most. You're going to work at your shitty job, barely affording heat, electricity, groceries, and then a migrant, an asylum seeker comes over and the government just opens up the checkbooks for them. This is what the local populations are having enough of. And we're not even going to talk about, we don't have to even talk about how the grape capital of the world, or at least Europe, is Sweden. Dude, the Nordic countries were the safest, the models of safety, progressive vision, egalitarian, feminist utopias have turned into shitholes when they started allowing these people and have no plan of integrating them. No one says migration or immigration is bad. No one says that. Mass migration, mass immigration with no checks and balances is bad. We all want to import the best and brightest in the world. That's a gem for every country. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Arab, Afghani, Marsman, gray heads, green skin. We don't care. Are you a doctor? Are you an engineer? Do you develop rockets and advanced cutting edge technologies? Are you in Silicon Valley? Are you doing something crazy with applications, AI, all this stuff? Are you bringing your expertise to this country, providing jobs, starting businesses? That's what we want more of. Doesn't matter. You could be the rich black African businessman that just developed a groundbreaking technology that turns salt water into sweet water and regenerates soil that's been otherwise destroyed by monocrop agriculture and blah, 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 blah. Nobody gives a shit. You come to Europe with that technology, you help the local population become a net positive on society. They welcome you with open arms. They look at you as one of the good migrants, one of the good immigration policy examples to set forth for everybody else. We want more of that. Any country wants more of that. But when you just bring in the dusties, the dirties, the absolute poors, the uneducated, the criminals, and then you try to integrate them in society haphazardly with like giving them stipends and basically paychecks to just live for free and put them in housing that otherwise used to go to locals that the locals can't afford. And you wonder why you're destabilizing society. Now people are getting pissed, dude. And Europe is moving what they call far right. They're fighting against these immigration policies. It's become the number one talk in Europe. Actually, Europe just changed recently their immigration policies to allow for pushbacks on the borders. Pushbacks are basically when countries are allowed to send migrants back to the very border they crossed. That used to be not allowed. All the human rights organizations in Europe and the world were fighting against that, saying they're violating human rights. Now Europe's going, no, you can actually break international law now, and you can do pushbacks to secure your border. It's happening. These people will be kicked out. There's policies being enacted every day now. Far right are taking more seats. Far right. It's just border control control immigration. We want safe societies. Western Europe looks like a hellhole now. They're looking at Eastern Europe. I live in Romania, dude. I live in Bucharest. It's one of the safest cities you can possibly visit right now. There's very little immigration. The immigrants that are here are working in those jobs where they're just delivering food or working in construction. It's like Nepalese people and whatever else, but it's checked for the moment. We don't have unchecked mass migration. There isn't ghettos and tents and open markets being set up in our cities. The streets are clean. They're being cleaned every day by workers from government municipalities. It's nice, bro. It's safe. You could go out at night at 4 a.m. No one's going to tell you shit. You can't do these things in Western Europe. It's gotten insane. So I'm not surprised that these are the conversations that are being had right now. If you've seen the dichotomy between Eastern and Western Europe in terms of crime and safety, it will absolutely shock you, man. There are videos that go viral here locally of Romanians going overseas. I should even say overseas, going to like Paris, going to London, going to parts of Germany and being shocked, dude. Shocked. They go, this is Paris? This is London? Where's the Parisians? Where are the Londoners? What is going on? It's like open markets of like shit you would find in some countries that these people are coming from. Like little stands on the side of the road. Bro, that shit is wild to see how in a few short years with unchecked migration that Europe's completely flopped and now the East is safer than the West. And now the East is somewhere where you want to start a family. Is the East perfect? No. They lack infrastructure still outside of major capitals. I can tell you right now, healthcare won't be as good still for the moment. You can get private clinics where healthcare is just as good, but again, they're private. General healthcare is just not as good. General education just not as good. Universities, I have to say, as far as research goes into cutting edge, the West is still better, of course, by a mile. But the problem is your child is at risk for being indoctrinated into woke ideologies. I don't know, man. If you got a remote skill or you can get hired at a multinational company that has a headquarters or a regional headquarters here somewhere in these countries, that'd probably be your best bet. You're going to make great money, be in a safe community. This is what's happening with the Middle East. They've invested so much, like places like Dubai. We can call them shitholes and we could say it's just a mirage in the desert, but it isn't. If you're raising a family, you have access to some of the best healthcare in the world, the best housing, no interest. You're not getting wrecked on anything, and overall safe community. No rainbow shit being pushed in your face. Nothing, bro. It's just safe. Your kids are going to nice academies. You have access to the best hospitals and the latest tech. The city is clean. Everything is safe. You could be out at 5 a.m, 3 at night. Doesn't matter. No one's going to ever do anything. Security all over the place. It's beautiful to see what a country and a city should look like when it's run properly by people that care about it. And that's the problem. You are currently living in a nation that doesn't care about you.